Hi, I'm Heidi and I'm here talking with Dave. Dave, one of the tips that I have read from you is to see beyond the documented purpose for AutoCAD, for people to become AutoCAD power users. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Okay, I'm a big Dr. Seuss fan, and there's this great book out there that a lot of people don't know. You've heard about Green Eggs and Ham, and Cat in the Hat, but very few people have heard about the book On Beyond Zebra. And when I teach classes about this topic, I always start with On Beyond Zebra. So there are these two kids in front of a blackboard, and one of them is holding a piece of chalk, and he's writing the letters of the alphabet, A through Z. And it says, my friend Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell, who is my very young friend who is learning to spell, says the A is for ape, and the B is for bear, and the C is for camel, the H is for hare, on to Z is for zebra. I know them all well, said Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell. And now I know everything anyone knows because Z is as far as the alphabet goes. And then you turn the page, of course, with a typical zinger from Seuss, right? And the other kid picks up the chalk and says, and then the jaw of my friend fell on the floor when I picked up the chalk and drew one letter more, a letter that he had not seen before. And I said, you can stop with the Z, but not me. In the places I go, there are things that I see that I never could spell if I stopped with the Z. I'm telling you this because you're one of my friends. My alphabet starts where your alphabet ends. Okay, and I love starting my classes on that kind of question because that also is something about power users. Their alphabet starts at the end of a typical alphabet for an AutoCAD user. We have this whole AutoCAD lore. It's not written anywhere, it's not taught in classes, and yet a whole ton of people know about it. A great example of this would be the W block command. It's been around forever, but a lot of people know that not only can it write blocks out, but it's a great, lazy, fast way to purge things, right? If you've got layers you don't care about, you thaw everything, you right block out the drawing, it knows that you didn't thaw things on these other junk layers, so it just automatically purges it. And it's not that the purge command doesn't have fantastic functionality to it, but we're lazy. Remember, power users want to do things in the minimal amount of energy, right? So we thaw what we care about, we W block it out, and there it is. And if you say that to a bunch of power users, their reaction is, oh yeah, we all knew that. It's just out there, right? And the users are like, what are you talking about? That's not in the books. Yeah, it's not in the books. Where is this? This is great stuff, right? Well, that's because power users, by default, never stop with what the manual says about what that command is used for. And that's a common tendency out there. Another example is techniques. If you've ever made a line type, there's a lot of power in the basic way that line types are created in AutoCAD. But then you've got the guy or the gal that has figured out that divide and measure, sister commands, not only drape points on top of a polyline, but they can drape blocks. So let's run with this for a second. Let's say that you have a foot, an emblem of a foot, and you want to create a line type of a bunch of feet walking across the floor.
Okay.
Exactly. So you don't have to sit there and try to understand 8-bit SHP files. You draw the footprint, you make a block out of it, you copy it so that it's kind of offset. You make a block in between them there, right? And now you come in and you draw your polyline where you want that thing to go, and then you say measure, divide, use this block instead of a point, and then tell it how far apart of its measure or how many of you want for divide, and blammo, you get all of those feet just like a line type. Wow. And it bypasses all these limitations that are in the standard line typing thing. Everybody immediately gets it. You can freeze the original polyline so that it doesn't plot if you don't want to see it. You can go back and modify it, redefine the block. You could actually have a three-dimensional chair line type, which is a crazy thought, but you could do it. It's that powerful, And again, the power users are like, oh yeah, AutoCAD lore. And so what I'm saying is that power users understand that what the book has to say about the use of these commands is true, but you can go on beyond zebra with all of this stuff.
That is just a great analogy there with Dr. Seuss. And now I'm expecting you to come up with something with Dr. Seuss and footprints. There's got to be something out there.
I'm sure there is. I can't think of it off the bat, but it's a great analogy for what
there's left foot, right foot maybe.
Oh, there you go.
All right, great. Thanks, Dave.